I didn't go to my sister's wedding. They said it gently, almost kindly. Let her have her day. You and Daniel don't exactly get along. Don't make this about you. It wasn't the first time I'd been the variable that needed adjusting. Growing up, I was the untense one, the one who noticed things, the one who asked why Daniel spoke to wait staff like they were furniture, why my sister flinched when his voice sharpened, why his apologies always arrived wrapped in justification. At family dinners, when I brought it up, the air would thin. You read too much into everything. You're projecting. Stop trying to start something. So when my mother called a week before the wedding and said, "Softly, sweetheart, maybe sitting this one out would keep things smooth," I heard the translation clearly shrink again. For 2 days I debated going anyway. I imagined walking into the ballroom, pretending, smiling through clenched teeth, watching for signs, waiting for a scene that might never come, or worse, waiting for one that would and being blamed for it. Eventually, I realized something uncomfortable. My presence wouldn't protect my sister. It would just make me responsible for the tension in the room. So I didn't go. That evening, I stayed home in quiet clothes. I ordered takeout. I told myself I was choosing peace. Still, around 9, curiosity gnawed at me. The venue was a historic hotel downtown, large enough that local news sometimes covered big society weddings. I turned on the television more out of habit than expectation. The headline crawled across the bottom first, then the footage, shouting. A crowded ballroom, someone holding a phone too high, the image shaking. My sister in white, Daniel in a dark suit, his face red in a way I had seen before, but never under chandeliers. And then it happened. A single unmistakable strike across her face. The sound didn't carry through the broadcast, but the recoil did. Her body tilted. Guests froze in that collective disbelief that comes before movement. The reporter's voice was steady, almost detached. Police were called to a wedding reception after an alleged domestic incident. The camera cut to officers entering through the gilded doors. That was the moment everything shifted, not because he was arrested, though he was, hands cuffed behind his back as flashes popped, but because it was public visible. Undeniable. There would be no rewriting this as a misunderstanding, no quiet family narrative about stress or too much champagne. Authority had stepped into the ballroom. I remember sitting very still. My first feeling wasn't triumph, it was nausea, then grief, then something steadier underneath it all. Clarity. My phone began vibrating within minutes. My mother's name, my aunt's. A cousin I hadn't heard from in years. I let them ring once, twice. I answered on the third call. No one accused me of ruining anything. No one told me I should have come. Their voices were small, disoriented. I don't understand. This came out of nowhere. How could this happen? It hadn't come out of nowhere. 2 years earlier, I had sent my sister screenshots, messages Daniel had sent me after an argument, paragraphs dripping with control masked as concern. I had written her a long email once after seeing him grab her wrist too tightly in a parking lot. I had saved everything, not strategically, just instinctively. When detectives reached out 2 days later asking if I had ever witnessed aggressive behavior, I didn't hesitate. I forwarded what I had. Dates, messages, context. There was no speech, no dramatic revelation at a family gathering, just documentation. The family meeting happened the following Sunday at my parents' house. No decorations, no music, just coffee cups and a heaviness that felt structural. My father cleared his throat at one point and said, "You tried to tell us." It wasn't an apology, but it was an acknowledgement. I didn't say, "I warned you." I didn't say, "You pushed me out to protect him." I simply said, "I needed to step back because I wasn't being heard." Silence followed, not hostile this time, just sober. My sister came home from the hospital with a faint bruise along her cheekbone. When I visited, she didn't meet my eyes at first. "I thought you were overreacting," she said finally. "I know," I answered. I didn't move in to rescue her life. I didn't take over decisions. I sat beside her on the couch and let her speak when she wanted to. When she didn't, we watched television in quiet. Something subtle had changed. I was no longer the difficult one, the dramatic one, the one who made things awkward. I was the one who had seen clearly and refused to pretend otherwise. The wedding photos never circulated. The ballroom incident faded from the news cycle within a week, replaced by other headlines. But inside my family, the shift remained. They don't ask me to shrink anymore. They don't ask me to stay away to keep the peace. There's no celebration in that, no victory dinner, just a quieter room when I speak and people listening. I didn't shut them up with anger. I did it by not attending a lie. And when reality arrived in flashing lights and handcuffs, I didn't need to raise my voice at all.